Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Allison, and today I wanted to chat with you a little bit about my daily routine and how I help others create their daily routine, because that's something I'm really going to be focused in on for the upcoming 6-week Repair and Clear program that I am offering everyone right now as we get into the new year. So, with this program, our focus is really still personalized. So, you're going to start with your initial consultation and we're going to set up a daily plan for you. And so, how I create my daily plan is after a lot of experimentation, which you'll have to do as well, figuring out what helps get my body ready in the morning. So, a lot of times we start with saliva tests to see where your cortisol is at. Is it too high in the morning or is it too low? Is it right where it needs to be? Where's your cortisol in the afternoon? Is it spiking because of lunch and sugar, or is it spiking because of stress, or is it dropping because of those reasons? So it's really tempting to guess where your cortisol level is, but it's also really important to say that we need to bring it back into balance. I hear people say all the time, cortisol is bad. I need to get my cortisol down. I don't do anything to raise my cortisol. And I'm like, well, then your mornings must be horrible because your cortisol should be higher in the morning and lower at night. So when it comes to daily routines, the most important thing that we start with is the morning, because it sets you up obviously for the rest of the day, but it sets up your adrenals, it sets up your brain, it sets up how your body is going to talk to the brain and the brain talking to the body, the gut-brain axis, all of it. So it's really important, especially if you're dealing with hormones, stress, anxiety, depression, extreme fatigue. So setting this morning routine, I think, is probably the hardest thing to do. And then it becomes the easiest thing to do, because as someone, guilty, who hates getting up in the morning, and I still do, as someone who struggles with sleep at night, which comes and goes based on how I'm feeling, I like to sleep in. I would love that every day. So my morning routine is that as soon as my eyes open naturally, and that varies. Sometimes it's 4:30, which is a bummer. Sometimes it's 5. More often it's around 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. I have to get up. So number one, resist the temptation to hit snooze, because that messes with your cortisol awakening response. It will spike and then it'll go back to sleep, and it'll either keep you going up and your body won't be able to handle it, or after time it'll just flatten out and you'll lose that energy. So my morning routine is to get up, open my eyes, get a lot of sunlight on my eyes, do my morning routine, like make the bed, brush my teeth. I like to do a lot of weird neurological things while I'm brushing my teeth, like standing on one foot, brushing with the opposite hand, so I'm activating different parts of my brain. I like to do a lot of eye movements to wake up my brain and also bring in more strength, balance, eye tone, cerebellum help. And then I do about 1 minute-ish of high intensity exercises. So I'll do a couple squats, a couple lunges, a couple push-ups, because again, that's balancing out my blood sugar, is wakening up my brain. And a lot of people who wake up and are extremely fatigued in the morning, this actually gets their cortisol awakening response going, so they have energy for the rest of the day. So number one, again, saliva testing to see where you are. But if you're that I hate getting out of bed, I hit snooze 800 times person, that's your routine. If you are the person who loves to wake up at the morning at 4:30, and I have a couple people like this too, they hit the gym and they drink like 15 espressos and then they go to work, and we have to reorganize that as well. So if you're living off of coffee and you like the mornings, but you're still like, let's get going, with all your coffee and your stimulants, we still need to balance that out as well. So that might mean that we tone down the exercise, that we break your habit with caffeine so you don't have these issues. And again, it becomes very personalized. So one of my mentors, Elena Lipson, who is amazing, she taught us about her magical morning, which I really embraced this year. I worked really hard to figure out what was best for me. And that's what we work with for you as well. What is best for you? So I like the number 3. We all like the number 3. It's very even and balancing. So my morning routine is, my magic morning is to meditate, journal, and then read or listen to something inspiring. So when I started, I set 10-minute timers for everything because otherwise I would either get too long into it or I would get frustrated and make it too short or skip things. So when you start trying to figure this out, and don't feel like you have to spend, like, wake up 3 hours early to do these things, you can meditate for 5 minutes. You don't have to sit an hour and do something. You can journal for 5 minutes. You can read for 30 minutes. Like, what do you like to do the most? I have a lot of patients who like to wake up because their kids don't wake up before them, which I find very strange, but they like to take a bath or a shower, have their time. They like to read their Bible or their religious scripture and get very centered. And then they like to call somebody and connect with a friend. That's another beautiful thing to do. Some people do like brushing, like dry brushing. Maybe that's your time to shower and shave and put lotion on and do your skincare routine and take care of your hair, and that helps you feel balanced. So what is it for you that what are your 3 things in the morning that you can do for you in the midst of everything? The other thing women have a really hard time with is making sure that they have time for themselves, because it's usually get up, get the kids going, make sure they have breakfast, get everybody out the door, and then you're on your way to work and you forgot your breakfast and you forgot your lunch and you didn't have a morning and you did your makeup in the car, right? Like, you know where I'm going. So doing these things beforehand, and yes, it might mean waking up earlier, but it's going to help you reset your brain, your adrenals, your endocrine system, support your thyroid. So this is more than just meditate to feel good. It's about meditating to calm your body, to support your body. And then I have my little notes with me: water, coffee, breakfast. Of course, don't skip those. Okay. I do most of my oils in the morning and then in the afternoon. So I like to do diffusers in the morning with things that are energizing and uplifting. Like the adaptive blend with the black spruce has been phenomenal. I like to do my adrenal support, so I like to put the Aroma Touch blend on my back. A lot of frankincense and peppermint on my belly because I have some gut issues that I'm working through. And in the morning, I also like to do my liquids because my digestion is slower. I personally don't like to slam my stomach with a bunch of pills in the morning because they're not going to get digested. I'm going to be nauseous all day. So I do my oils, I do my turmeric liquid, resveratrol liquid, nitric balance liquid, vitamin D liquid, my brain balance liquid, all of these things. I do a gut repair liquid, and then I do doTERRA greens as well. So that way I'm just not putting a lot of pressure on my digestive system, because that's how I work. So I know when I'm strongest. If you're strongest in the morning, you're like, I'm really good with breakfast, my stomach feels really strong, then that's a good time to take all your pills and do all your liquids in the afternoon, right? So find what works for you. So then I do most of my supplements at lunch. So I have like Lifelong Vitality from doTERRA. I do Mitomax. Let me think. I always do my enzymes with every meal. I have a liver clearance support for methylation, biotransformation, detoxing, and glutathione recyclers. I have my GI health supplements that I take as well. And then if I'm struggling with a lot of pain or issues, I just take turmeric all day long. To be honest, that's just what I do. That's my routine. And so we can figure out, again, how is your body responding? What times of day is it responding? And when is the best time to do supplements, liquids, oils, support? Maybe your mornings are too hectic. Maybe your magic morning is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon after lunch or before lunch, and you can take that time or in the car and pickup line. Like, we can figure this out. It doesn't have to be at a specific time every single day. I'm not really into that. Right now I'm in a healing phase for my body, so I'm focused on slow movements. Instead of going to the gym every day, 8 a.m., doing the heaviest weightlifting routine that I can, which is what I did in the beginning of the year, and I loved it, but I spent the rest of the year healing for my gut issues and my gallbladder issues, and I'm still working my way through that. So when it comes to focusing on what you need to do for exercise, the number one thing I like to look at is, what are you doing now and how can you expand on that? 2 is, what are you doing now, helpful or hurtful? I have a lot of people who are doing heavy exercises that are not healthy for their body. So if you're going to the gym and you come home and then you sleep for 2 hours, it's the wrong program for you, okay? If you go out and you do a program and you're never not sore, probably not the best for you right now because your body's not healing. Something's wrong and we need to fix that. If you're doing yoga or Pilates and you're not gaining strength or you're not feeling relaxed or improving flexibility, and you're up all night, that's an issue as well. So we have to really personalize it. I almost wanted to say privatize, but that's not the right word to say. Just start with where you are. Walking is very, very simple. Body weight exercises, again, very, very simple. Men and women are very different. Men, start with body weight exercises and build up. Women can do that as well. Be aware of your cycle. So especially menstrual cycle. So where are you the strongest? Where are you feeling your best? Cater to that. Don't try to push through and say, this is what I've always done. Like, I'm at my weakest. I felt really guilty because I couldn't lift as heavy when I wanted to, and then I would beat myself up. No, I should have been in the sauna. I should have been on the bike, just taking it easy, going slow, letting my body do what it needs to do. We just put too much pressure on ourselves to do the same thing every day, no matter what our cycle is. If you're postmenopausal, then lifting weights, excellent. Trampolines, excellent. Vibration therapy, standing on a plate, excellent. Work with a personal trainer. You are now in a phase where you can do more similar things every day. But again, base it off of how you're feeling. What is your body doing? What are your hormones doing? Are your adrenals keeping up with what you're doing? So, for me, I like to do yoga at night before I go to bed, especially if I have high energy and I need to get it out. And if I've stayed up too long and I hit my second wind, which I don't want you to do, you have to go to sleep before that hits. Doing something like yoga, using your essential oils to calm your body down, center back in, will be also very, very helpful. When it comes to food, I used to be a reactive hypoglycemic and dependent on food to keep me going. So for a lot of people, when we start out and we're on that roller coaster of blood sugar, you get really hangry, your brain shuts down if you're not eating, you can't focus, you always have to have a snack with you, or you're avoiding eating food until like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're going crazy and your hormones are out of whack and you can't lose weight. That's a time when we start doing snacks every 2 hours and really just feeding your body consistently, getting your blood sugar stabilized, getting your adrenals stabilized, and that way you can move forward. So that was me. And then I did a fasting mimicking diet and really just cut my body off from the supply, from the source, from the issue, and allowed myself to rebalance and recalibrate. So that is something that we deal with down the road. It's not something that you start off with because your body's not ready, you'll crash. And so on the other side of that, if you have SIBO or small intestine bacterial overgrowth, then we have to actually spread out your eating. You want to eat every 4 hours to allow the food to move through. You don't want to be stacking food every single few hours, every 2 hours, because that's going to build up and cause a lot of issues. So again, personalize what's going on with you. What does your body need? And if you're insulin resistant or starting to go down that diabetic line, then we actually space out your eating and we make sure that you're taking supplements with your meals to support your body's ability to digest, absorb, and release sugar as it needs to. Very, very important. And then at night, at dinner, my stomach tends to be the strongest. So that's when I do the rest of my pill supplements, a lot of my herbals, because I can handle it at that point. And then I go back into a lot of self-care. So I do a lot of self-care in the morning. And at night, I don't have to set my timers because once the kids are in bed, I'm pretty much free to do what I want. So that includes a lot of reading, meditating, journaling, writing. I have this, what is it called? I don't even know. So my planner, Rituals for Living Dream Book and Planner. Every day at the bottom they have a goal for every day. Habit tracking is what they call it. And so I haven't done mine for this week, you could see, but you write down your habits that you want to do every week. So I started with a lot of physical ones, like, oh, I have to work out, and I have to take my supplements, and I have to, right? Um, so for the past few weeks, what I've actually been writing down is sketching. So sketching is something I actually found out that I really love to do. And it gets me in the creative space, it gets me out of my head. So that has become a daily goal, to sketch. I wrote down move instead of exercise, because even if I go for a little walk around the neighborhood or I do a couple minutes of yoga, I'm good. Like I'm reset now. Right? So I always, work on a book, or I actually have a poem book I'm working on, like stuff for me. So when you're looking at these habits and you feel like, oh my God, like so overwhelmed, so overwhelmed. How many habits can I have? How many things do I have to do? What is this, like, my day plan gonna look like? And you're like, I can't do this. Like, I used to have a notebook and I had 50 pages of goals, um, numbers, SMART goals, tracking, how I was, and I threw it out in August. I was like, I can't do this. This is ridiculous. So now my goal for the day is sketching. Like, it sounds weird, but that's something for me that I get to do. Writing is for me, and then I get to actually share that. So it's really for you. It is for my business. It is a money making habit. It is part of my business and my life and what I have to do, but it's also for me. So when you're thinking about how do I create habits, and it's really about, what do you need? What do you need in your heart? What do you need in your soul for your body? What does your body need your brain and your soul to do to heal? So healing isn't all just take your supplements and work out and hit it the hardest you can and get your 8 hours of sleep. But no, you actually only need 5 hours of sleep, and everybody should wake up at 5 a.m. Like, there's so many rules. I think when we're starting with these types of programs, that the rule is, what do you need? What is actually going on with your body? Um, let's stop guessing. Let's do some testing. A lot of people come to me and say, oh, I have such high estrogen. That's such high estrogen. I need to fix this. And, and then we actually do a saliva test. They have no testosterone, no estrogen, and their progesterone's through the roof, and their cortisol's through the roof, and their DHEA is so tanked that they can't make really good hormones because it's getting stolen, and they have no energy, and their bones are brittle, and their hair is falling out. And their thyroid looks great, and it's very confusing. But once we have those answers, we know what to do. So once we know what to do, we can work on that physical part. We still have to bring in the emotional, the spiritual, the soul part to say, what do you need? Because that is how you plan your day, and that's how you work for you. So that's a little bit of my day, and it changes, and that's okay. So next week it might look different, which I'm okay with. So if this is something you would like to work on, I'm doing the 6-week Repair and Clear program. It's actually misnamed. It's really more of like an 8 to 10 week program. I'm sorry, I still have my cough. Super. So we are going to do your initial consultation. Blood work is included. And then we meet for about 90 minutes over video. We go through everything, your whole plan. What is going on? What happened in your blood work? You can add on testing if you need to. So we can add on stool, organic acids. We can add on saliva, hormone testing, whatever you need. We can add that on, and that can go through insurance as well. Supplements are included. So it's going to be personalized for you so you can get what you need. And then we're going to have 6 private consultations. So that way we can work on things like this. We can say what is working, what isn't working, what's going on with your schedule. Are you eating food? What's holding you back? Are you healing? Because it's important. And then we're going to do group sessions. I'm going to have a private Facebook group. We're going to do empowerment classes. We're going to talk about weight loss. We're going to, especially going into the holidays, we're going to talk a lot about how to eat for you. Be happy, be healthy, enjoy yourself. We're going to talk a lot about hormones. And so we're going to really do the deep dive so you know how to take care of yourself. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited about it. So I'm going to drop the link in the comments for that. If you don't want to commit to a big program, I totally understand. So what I do offer is a one-time initial consultation. It's $247. So with all of these, we do a free chat for about 30 minutes so we can make sure that, one, this is the right place for you. 2, that I'm able to help you, and that 3, we have all the testing, if needed, lined up and ready to go. And then we do your initial consultation, and then we have a follow-up one after that. So I do want to offer you a lot of options because we need that flexibility. I like these big programs because I like working with people long term. I want to know what's going on. I want to get in there with you. I want to hold your hand as we walk through this, so that way you don't feel like here's your book of what to do. Good luck, right? So that is what we're going to do. The group is going to officially start in the I think about the week before Thanksgiving, closer to the end, so that way we can go through the end of the year with our classes. But you can get started right now if you want to, and get on your journey and your path and start feeling better, so you can enjoy your day and you don't feel completely run down and worried and stressed and not sleeping and not eating. I'm going to get you taking care of yourself. I'm going to be here to support you through it. So if you have any questions, shoot me a message or comment, and we can chat about it, set up a free call, and go through what you need and get you on your way. So enjoy your week. Happy Monday, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.